Picture a Neanderthal. Slouched, dim-witted, barely able to grunt a sentence. An evolutionary dead end that modern humans simply outsmarted into extinction 40,000 years ago. That image, the one from every textbook and cartoon, is almost entirely wrong. The deeper scientists dig into their DNA and their bones, the more it looks like Neanderthals weren't the weaker species at all, but carried some genuinely impressive superpowers, built by hundreds of thousands of years of survival most of us can barely imagine. And stick around to the end, because one of those superpowers is still sitting in your DNA today. 12 hidden facts about the real Neanderthal, starting now. Number 1 is their immune system was one of the toughest ever built by evolution. Neanderthals lived across Europe and Western Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, constantly exposed to new bacteria, viruses, and parasites their bodies had never met before, generation after generation. Geneticist Michael Dannemann and colleagues traced the genes behind it, toll-like receptors, the sensors an immune system uses to spot an invading microbe before it can take hold. Nobody engineered this. It evolved the hard way, through generations of exposure and loss, an immune system forged entirely by the Ice Age, built to fight enemies modern medicine hadn't even named yet. Number 2 is their eyes were shaped for a darker world. Neanderthal skulls consistently show significantly larger eye sockets than modern human skulls, a difference visible even to the untrained eye. In a 2013 study, Oxford researchers Eilund Pierce, Robin Dunbar, and Chris Stringer proposed that bigger eyes meant more of the brain given over to processing what they saw, useful in the low-light environments of Ice Age Northern Europe, where spotting a predator or dinner a second earlier could decide who survived. Number 3 is their lungs simply outperformed ours. Neanderthals had wide, barrel-shaped rib cages, unlike anything in a modern human chest. A 2018 study, using measurements from the Kabara and El Ceduran skeletons, estimated total lung capacity at roughly 20% greater than a modern human of equivalent body size. Chasing an animal across broken, freezing terrain while carrying a heavy wooden spear takes serious oxygen. Their chest cavity simply delivered it. Number 4 is their blood clotted faster than ours ever could, sealing wounds a modern body would still be bleeding from. Ancient DNA studies, including work led by geneticist John Capra, identified Neanderthal-derived variants linked to unusually fast blood clotting. For an Ice Age hunter fighting a wounded animal or suffering a deep cut from a stone tool, that came down to one brutal trade: bleed out or clot fast enough to walk away. Number 5 is their skeletons were built like natural armor. Neanderthal bones were thick-walled and dense, with reinforced joints capable of absorbing repeated violent impact, the kind a modern skeleton would struggle to walk away from intact. A 2024 study by geneticist Oscar Lau and colleagues at the Institute of Evolutionary Biology, a joint center of Chic and Pompeu Fabra University in Barcelona, traced part of that extraordinary density to specific variants of the LARP5 gene, variants modern humans simply never inherited. A genetic head start we lost somewhere along the way. Close-range hunting with a handheld spear against an animal that outweighed you meant getting hurt was routine, not rare, and their whole skeleton reflects a body evolved for that reality, rather than for speed or long-distance travel. Number 6 is their hands were stronger and more precise than the old stereotype allowed. Neanderthal hand bones show broad fingertips and heavy muscle attachment points, consistent with serious power grip strength, useful for gripping hafted tools and working tough hides. But a 2018 Science Advances study led by Alexandros Karakostas found something the clumsy caveman myth never predicted. Entheses on Neanderthal hand bones show habitual precision gripping too, the same fine thumb and finger control used for delicate craftwork. They weren't just strong, they were dexterous. Number 7 is their brains were physically larger than ours. Modern humans average around 1,350 cubic centimeters of brain volume. Neanderthal cranial capacity ran larger on average, with some skulls approaching around 1,700 cubic centimeters, well past what most modern skulls reach. That doesn't automatically mean smarter. Researchers Pierce, Dunbar, and Stringer traced a large share of that extra volume to vision and body control, brain power spent on reading the world and commanding a powerful body faster than ours ever could. Bigger, wired differently, built to spot a predator a heartbeat before you ever could. Number 8 is a Neanderthal-derived gene cluster helped its carriers fight off ancient viruses before medicine existed. Geneticists Hugo Zeeberg and Svante Pääbo identified a stretch of DNA on chromosome 12, containing the OS1, OS2, and OS3 genes that help the body break down the genetic material of invading RNA viruses before they could do serious damage. A separate, unrelated Neanderthal-derived stretch on chromosome 3 did the opposite, leaving its carriers more vulnerable instead. Proof that even a Neanderthal's own genetic toolkit came with trade-offs built in. Number 9 is they practiced real, deliberate medicine long before anyone wrote a medical text. Researcher Laura Weirich and her team analyzed fossilized dental plaque from a sick Neanderthal at El Cedron in Spain. An individual with a visible dental abscess and a gut parasite that would have caused real, ongoing suffering, and found traces of poplar, a plant source of salicylic acid, the same compound behind aspirin, along with a naturally occurring penicillium mold. The plant had no real nutritional value, which makes accidental ingestion unlikely. Someone chose this plant on purpose. That's not instinct, that's medicine. Number 10 is they practiced one of humanity's earliest known examples of chemical technology. Neanderthals produced a sticky black adhesive called birch bark tar, used to fix stone points onto wooden shafts so they wouldn't slip loose mid-hunt at the worst possible moment. Making it requires heating birch bark at a controlled temperature with almost no oxygen present, a process called dry distillation. Too much heat or too much air and the whole batch fails, leaving nothing but ash. Researchers studying this process, including Paul Kozovic's team in the Netherlands, consider it one of the earliest known examples of humans deliberately controlling a chemical reaction, planned and repeated, long before anyone could write the recipe down. Number 11 is they built mysterious stone rings deep underground, in total darkness. Inside Bruniquel Cave in southern France, about 1,100 feet, or 336 meters, from the entrance, researchers led by Jacques Joubert found deliberately arranged rings built from broken stalagmites. Uranium series dated to around 176,500 years ago. Reaching that chamber requires traveling far past any natural light, carrying fire the entire way. Building it took planning, teamwork, and repeated trips into the dark for a purpose archaeologists still don't fully understand. Evidence that upended old assumptions about Neanderthal imagination and social organization. Number 12 is they routinely survived injuries that would have been life-threatening for most people. In a landmark survey of Neanderthal skeletons, paleoanthropologists Thomas Berger and Eric Trinkus cataloged healed broken ribs, shattered limbs, and skull fractures across the fossil record, wounds severe enough to leave someone unable to hunt, gather, or even walk unaided for months at a time. Yet these individuals lived long enough afterward for the bone to fully mend, sometimes years afterward, the healed tissue still visible on the fossil today. That tells us two things. Their bodies could take extraordinary damage and still recover, and somebody was almost certainly feeding and protecting them while they healed, since no one survives months of incapacity alone in an Ice Age landscape. Survival wasn't only about strength. It was about community too. But there's one more thing, and it might be the strangest superpower of all. Somewhere inside your own DNA, if your ancestry runs outside Africa, a small stretch of Neanderthal genetic code is still doing exactly what it did around 50,000 years ago, fighting off viruses. It's the same immune machinery from Fact 1, the same gene cluster from Fact 8, and it's part of why some people weathered COVID-19 with less severe disease. Neanderthals didn't just survive the Ice Age. Whether you asked for the inheritance or not, a piece of that survival machine is running inside you right now.